Hey everyone, Rather Coherent here, back with more Rome Total War Remastered as the Seleucid Empire. And some bullshit happened. This siege didn't make a whole lot of sense when I was playing it. I feel like there should be way more men in the city than there are currently, but oh well. So let's move on to a different war that's going to make some more sense. We have all these hoplites just lying around in the southern Peloponnesus. We're behind one heavily depleted unit of mercenaries, and I'm going to head off to Athens. We're going to take Athens. It should not be that hard of a battle. Gonna make a load of saps. With the number of defenders they have, a load of towers will actually be more effective, and by towers I meant ladders. But just find a part of the wall that they aren't protecting, climb there, and then take over the city. It shouldn't be too hard. Going to build phalanxes here in Sparta, and with their much lower garrison, they'll probably be fine at very high, but I'm gonna knock it down one just to be sure. Here I can recruit, I guess, more cavalry. It doesn't really seem like there's much of a reason to make something else. And all of these units can join up with the army. Oh yes, that's right. The Brutii are trying to conquer me. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of Macedon doing the same thing either. But it's not a big deal. As we move back up, we'll have much more troops than we initially started with. Fewer generals, admittedly. This campaign has just had some hurdles that it didn't really need to have, but it'll be fine. It looks like either Thrace or Macedon is finally taking Byzantium. Now, I have this navy over here that I've been building, specifically for the purpose of transporting my units safely, so let's get on with that. We have this whole stack here that needs to be going somewhere else. And we have another general and another phalanx we can throw in, which will be nice. I'm actually going to build peasants as garrison in both of these cities for the first time ever, although I think this one already has peasants, so it doesn't need to do that. I will continue making normal phalanxes here in Antioch. This unit is going to continue struggling to get back to Tarsus to be retrained. And the army we have in the boats is not insubstantial. 3 generals, a shitload of actual pikemen. This is going to make a massive difference wherever it goes, and the answer, of course, is it's going to the Peloponnesus, or since that'll be conquered already, actually. Like, by the time this army gets here, I should have figured out a way to get these to Rhodes. I guess I don't have that, though. Likely what I'll be doing is I'll be stopping here, dropping my units off here, picking up the hoplites and dropping them off at Rhodes, and then continuing on with the actual army. And I won't need to stop at Kydonia, but I may as well. It doesn't have walls, so I can just walk in, take it, and keep going. And then this awkward position where I already have the land in the Southern Balkans and a huge army here, but it also does need generals. So I guess this army is coming to the Balkans. It's just gross overkill. It's way more than I need. Now it looks like there's still an absolute shitload of units I need to retrain, specifically all this cavalry. There's also an Egyptian army here that probably needs to move away from my city. This first things first, let's bully them off. What? Guys, I know that militia hoplites are a bad unit, but look at your army compared to mine. What are you doing? Let's go wipe them out, I guess. I don't understand, Egypt. Alright. Let's just figure out where they are and start sorting this out. My Jav Cav are going to do most of the work in this fight. They are coming downhill towards me, which gives them a range advantage. So I'm just going to pull all of this back while I position around. I don't want to be taking shots from them for no reason here. I guess I should have my horse archers and my light cav over here with the javelins. I'm only keeping my general with my main army because I know how likely to rout these militia hoplites are without anyone to command them. I know putting these javelin men out on the side seems weird, but the enemy has no generals, no cavalry, nothing that can move quickly. They only have hoplites, really. And honestly, they have so little in terms of actual units that I'm pretty sure I can just start moving in now. I can have all of my Jav Cav start moving out behind them to eventually kill literally everyone. These Javelin men can just come over here and throw at whoever gets near them. They aren't actually super important. I'll let my general wait for a second before he gets involved. I don't want him taking the initial volley of arrows here. And it's just like, this isn't an army that can fight me. It just isn't. Are they actually going to try to engage with my hoplites? They're going to skirmish, right? Yeah, good. I mean, they don't get to. They're comically outnumbered. I don't quite know who this spearman's going for. It looks like one of these units. But yeah, it's just like, it turns out that you do kind of need to have more than just skirmishers in your army. Because, yeah, if you only have skirmishers, then this shit happens.
The enemy general flees. Press forward so that the spirit of his army is
and it's like, yeah, what a surprise. All right, everything's routing at this point. All of you guys can back off, except for the Jab Cab, of course. They need to be running people down. My general can come participate in the slaughter, and all of this can crash in and get that going full scale. And now it's for the tedious business of running them all down. I am shocked that Egypt thought they could take this battle. I don't understand. Okay, I was actually worried that for killing that, I would walk out of the city where the army was and have to fight these rebels too. Luckily, I don't, so I can just immediately send all of this north to be retrained at Alexandria. The plague seems to have done a number on these garrisoning hoplites, so let's bring them down here and have them get fixed. Or maybe they were never retrained to begin with. That seems more likely. Now I can retrain all of this, build up another unit of archers. And ignoring the whole plague thing, this army's doing really well. The whole plague thing gets a bit of a damper, though. It's really ruining the mood. So someone in the comments pointed out that, yes, right now the port is worthless, but theoretically the port should be worth more money if I were to build ports in the other cities on the Red Sea, which are eventually all going to be mine. So I do want to build the port just to check how valuable it is in the future, because it checks out to me that if there were other port cities, which there totally could be, then the port would actually matter and do something, and I want to see what that'll look like. I'm going to queue up this port now just to make sure I don't forget and do something else. And while I'm here, I'm going to do my infrastructure across my empire. Pretty much across my entire empire, I've just been building economy buildings unless nothing else was available, in which case I would build military buildings. And when I say if nothing else is available, it's cities like, I think Pergamon's an example. One of these is. Yeah, this is what I mean when nothing else is available. It's a small town. Whatever they're building is trash. It doesn't matter. It looks like we have to go start a siege over here against Parthia, so let's get on to that. This isn't quite going to wipe them out. They'll have one settlement left up here. And honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue this guy to come talk to Parthia after this turn ends. Because I want to sue for peace. I don't want to waste my time coming to kill Parthia up here. It seems incredibly tedious. I'd like to just know they'll fuck off for a long, long time. It looks like over here in Arsaka, we have plenty of troops that can leave the town. So let's see what their happiness actually looks like once they do. And they'll be just fine. So I'll build peasants here. Have this phalanx leave, and they can all come to reinforce his army at a later date. I was thinking there was probably something in this army worth leaving behind to get a better army, just leaving something behind as a garrison. And then I saw this unit of Bedouin warriors, and I don't even know why they exist. I mean, honestly, this unit does nothing. I can't just ban them right now because they're currently sieging a city, but they actually have zero impact on anything. I guess they're just in the army to help run things down in case it's a really hectic battle and I don't have the ability to send my generals to do it. But man, this is not a real unit. So this is really 19 out of 20, not 20 out of 20. This army can continue walking to go find out that they can't conquer Egypt on their own, but hey, I like the spirit, right? Egypt is probably going to take Jerusalem here. On account of the fact that I'm intentionally sending my army somewhere else, but hey, it happens. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to recruit a peasant here in Tarsus so that I can send the peasant in Tarsus to Antioch. The peasant in Antioch can go down to Sidon, and that'll give me a little bit more flexibility with recruiting units. Because I do apparently need to be making units all around this area since I'm still at war with Egypt. That hasn't really stopped. Alright, so I've used pretty much all of my money. I've handled my war in the Balkans. I have not moved this army. So let's get on to that. The boat comes over. Everyone in the city is going to leave. Who am I leaving behind? Probably nobody. I probably just build a peasant, right? Obviously, they're mad, but their taxes are probably set to very high right now. Low, which is close enough to very high for my mind. This one militia hoplite can now get on the boats. And I could send him to go fight Armenia now. The army could do it. It's just that this army has nothing to do other than conquer Armenia. So I'd be wasting time on this army if I used this army for Armenia, making it better to head down the coast.
Set sail! Yes, Captain!
And since it's only one boat, I'm going to be dropping them off every time, and then putting them back on at the start of the next turn.
Ships ready!
Oh! I'm looking at the range on this boat, and I wonder can it actually come down here and pick up the army?
Yes, sir.
And then make it to Alexandria? Not Alexandria, but Rhodes?
My lord. My lord.
Oh my god, it can. Now, the army they have is an objectively better army than mine. It's literally just my army with a general. So I don't think that's going to work. But I could. And in fact, the AI might make bad decisions, and this army's largely redundant anyway. So I'm going to try this. Specifically, what I'm going to try to do, I'm just going to hang out on their port and see if they'll attack me, and I'm going to try to corner fight them and see how it goes. I expect to get wiped the fuck out. I just want to see how this goes, because this army here does make the army trying to conquer Rhodes redundant, especially if the army trying to conquer Rhodes literally can't. I believe that's it for what was left of this turn, so let's end turn and see what happens over the interim. Greece probably attacks me. I hit end turn and now I have a boat selected. I don't know which boat I even have selected. This one. I guess he can come join up with the rest of my boats.
Ships are under attack.
Yep, we all saw that part coming. Once again, it turns out I should have left my units on the boats and just tried to get teleported to Rhodes, or to Crete rather.
We are surrounded.
That is a lot of Macedonian dudes, isn't it?
Have mercy.
Hey, we'll become your protectorate if you give us our entire empire back. Here's a counter offer. Ceasefire.
Surely you jest.
Alright, cool, fuck you. Like, imagine thinking that was a real thing they could offer me. This doesn't matter at all, that's just gonna turn into a rebel when I kill Parthia this turn. Oh right, I'm not killing Parthia this turn, I'm trying to ceasefire them. That could be annoying
Let us
then.
end the bloodshed.
Right now, I'm not doing anything to Greece. But I would like to be. No.
Until next time.
Oh, they actually didn't try to attack. They're just gonna let me blockade their port forever, I guess. So I continue this diplomat down towards Rome. Candidate for adoption, thank God. Where is he? Alright, cool. That's pretty much useless to me. So I'm gonna do something that probably isn't great for me just yet, and move my capital somewhere west, I think? I'll think about that later in the turn. Let's get through the rest of this. I'm being besieged by Parthia, by the Brutii, and by the Macedonians. This man came of age. There are 2 generals in Antioch. Looks like this is clearly worth my time now.
Ready. Ships
Egypt, if
ready.
you could just fuck off, that would be great.
Orders.
I'm having these people hop off the boats because they have less movement than boats do. And the boats are going to have to waste some movement attacking this Egyptian army, which apparently didn't choose to hit the retreat button.
Yes, Captain.
And now I'm going to have these 3 men come join the army.
My lord.
And this is a pretty fucking serious army. It could use 3 units of archers, let's be real, but it is incredibly effective.
Yes, sir.
And while it's coming through, it may as well pick up this militia hoplite that's just been hanging out on Salamis for God knows how long. And all of Egypt is suffering from the plague. Gaul is the most advanced faction, apparently. That's not what I was expecting to hear. I still don't actually know what most advanced means, but I'm very upset by that term.
March.
This army has found an Egyptian city, and they found out that it has at least 2 general chariots in it. And they're going to continue off in a different direction.
Out.
See if they can't conquer this city instead. Egypt broke their siege. Doesn't seem like a great play to me. Seems like they probably should have kept sieging. And here in my core cities, I'm going to continue making units. We're finally going to retrain this stack of militia hoplites here in Tarsus.
Ready to sail.
These boats can join it with the rest of my navy. And I guess now I have to decide, am I trying to actually send something west and kill all of Numidia with it? I only have the 1 general as the problem, and he needs to lead the armies against Egypt, so no.
March.
Unfortunately, all these plagued units aren't going to be super great when it comes to actually, you know, conquering new lands.
Orders.
We have to push this rebel off. I accidentally selected the 1 unit I wanted to keep behind instead of everyone else. Now we can push the rebel off, I imagine. Yeah. Also, okay, I saw the rebel general as an elephant because he was gray, I guess. I was very confused about that. Now this 1 man who's supposed to be the garrison can go back and get retrained to actually, you know, keep the city happy. I'll build peasants as well. Down here, I may as well retrain their garrison peasants, and same here. I will also retrain the one horseman that is severely injured and build a new one.
My lord. My lord.
And we need to continue pushing off this rebel because he's blocking the bridge, which means we have to kill them all to the last man. All right. Pretty basic formation we have going on. Range units in front. We're going to figure out what we're doing exactly with our cavalry later. And I'm just going to let them move until I figure out exactly what the AI wants to do. They're sending their bowmen out in front. How many? They have a decent number of range units, so I guess I want to move all of this up to actually engage with them, because if I send cavalry to go fight these archers, that cavalry probably gets, you know, a little bit murdered by all the range support they have. At this point, their archers are far enough away from their skirmishers that I feel comfortable charging them. Now, I have had bad experience charging archers before, so I'm hoping that this doesn't result in all of my men dying catastrophically as it is so prone to doing. At this point, I just want you to continue leaving. I don't want you to stick around. Okay. It looks like all of my range units are being charged at this point. So let's have all of them get through the line and have all of my phalanxes drop their spears. I want my 2 units of cavalry over here, getting prepared to finish off their general once he hits the spear wall. He seems to have thought better of his plan, which is good for him, but bad for me. At this point, I'm actually going to have all of this just pull back for a hot second. Reposition my stuff, but I want my light cavalry here running down these archers, and I want my actual... Are these camel archers? All right, I was going to call them horse archers, but they're much worse than that because camels are slower. But the big thing I want is for this unit to get run down, and I don't want to waste my general doing that, so this would be triple speeded for a hot second, I believe. And my general charge this. Have these men keep moving away. And this light cav has done its job, so it can leave now. Oh, he seems to think that he should be participating in the fight directly himself. I'm going to have my general continue forward. I'm going to have these guys continue forward as well. I want the light cavalry to take him off of us before we turn back around. And I want all of my men to come throw javelins or shoot archers, shoot arrows rather. Just generally get involved with the fight. I haven't actually lost a camel archer yet, which is the thing I'm really concerned about here. I guess my general could also die, but that seems incredibly unlikely considering the way this fight looks.
The gods have filled the enemy general with fear. Now he flees the field like a coward.
I don't want to sit here and take their charge or their javelin, so I'm going to have all of this pull off. And when you beat a rebel army, I think the whole thing just tends to die anyway, so I don't need to worry about actually killing their general. Not that it would matter, because as long as he's just one unit somewhere in my lands ignoring me, I don't really care. And that's the fight. So let's have all of these guys cut fire at will and stop what they're doing, make absolutely sure that nothing stupid happens at the end. So I mean, like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta spend a turn wiping out rebels because they're blocking your bridge. That's how it is. Alright, and now that that's done, I can have this army continue east.
Move out.
And these horse archers up here can come join them.
My lord. Yes, strategos. Onward.
Putting our final army size at well over 20, as always. Oh well, we forgot who's staying behind at some point. And absolutely not. Why on earth would I ever train peasants in a city that can make archers? What was I thinking? I'm gonna keep recruiting units in all of these towns. It's not super necessary, but I do want to do it. It's just a fairly close launching point, closer than the rest of my empire at least. But I do need to send something to Numidia eventually. And for that, I got the turncoat slave completely useless. But 2 damaged boats down here that just don't know what to do with their lives.
Yes, sir. Ready to.
And I put them together, hope that gives them a higher chance of survival, and eventually try to have them join up with this navy that's transporting my army west.
Order.
So now we need to wipe out Parthia.
Yes, sponge.
Honestly, this looks like it can be auto-resolved. There are so many people in my army compared to their city. Auto-resolve to kill their faction leader is pretty funny. I don't think the game's going to let me. Yeah, they lost 600 men. That's just unacceptable. So, let's go fight this for real, because I mean, honestly, the only thing I should be losing here is hoplites. I shouldn't lose anything else. And probably like less than 200 hoplites, at most 300 or 400. And that's like if things are going really badly and I fuck up. I honestly can't imagine losing 600 men in this fight. So, as always, I'm moving my range units up. I am breaking 2 holes in different parts of the wall and getting everyone else ready to go through. And the enemy AI is just hanging out in the middle of the town because there's 2 of them and 2,000 of us. So, what choice do they have, really? I've actually changed my mind. I'm going to come knock a hole here. This wall structure means that they'll shoot my units as they walk through if I come in over there. So going through here would be objectively wrong. And since I'm not being contested here at all, I'm just going to start moving my units.
The walls are taken.
Alright, looks like they're actually moving their units up, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful here. But not too much more careful, let's be real. And I probably want to move in all of these generals as well. So, phalanx and stop. Once these men are in position, I'll phalanx and stop them as well. So, the Parthian general is going to use some javelins, kill some men, nothing we can do about that. Once he's done, I don't believe he really has any ability to interact with me in a meaningful way. Also, I'm going to have my actual general come stand right behind this for the buff. And the second biggest unit of cavalry that I have is going to come over here, eventually to charge him in the rear while he's engaged with my phalanxes. And they're coming to the right, so this whole thing wants to move forward. I've been looking at the way this red's out and very surprised. So instead, I'm going to just forward arrow it instead because I can't. All right, cool. And now they're moving that way according to them. So we're going to go ahead and go with this, even though it's not exactly what I want to be doing. And eventually my cavalry will get here and help out. You're going to have to just stop. It looks like they're coming to fight you now. And all the same, even though this isn't what I want to be happening, and it's breaking a little bit, and it's going well. I don't know how this man got through. Is that the captain? I thought I saw a little cape on him. Let's figure out where their general actually is. I feel like it was really easy for me to find generals in the past when I played. So either I've gotten a lot worse at it, or it's much harder to do in the remaster, because I'm not seeing anyone with a cape or a little plume on their head. And I know they're in front of me, there's only so many people in this unit. But I just don't see them. Whatever. It's fine. Not a big deal. I have all of this move forward, though, since it's not really contributing where it is. This man had to cross into the square a little bit, but not enough to actually, put himself in any real risk. And all of this formation's, more than a little bit broken. But yeah. This should be enough to essentially end this unit they're fighting.
The enemy king has been
Oh, there he was.
This will surely make his followers
All right, cool.
waver.
So that's the actual hard part of the battle done. Let's just finish up the rest of it then. All right, so this is going to go great for these Eastern infantry. Going to forward arrow all of these flanking units just directly into them, and they're going to die horrifically. Well, I tried to forward arrow them. This is kind of funny to watch, isn't it? Guys, just attack them. I don't know what you're actually doing, but it's not super close to what I told you, especially the phalanx on the far right. They're routing, but I haven't won yet. That's interesting.
This is a victory fit for the gods.
So, quite sloppy, 230 losses. I have no idea how you get to 600. And also, I'm sure they lost more than just militiamen, as auto-resolve so often does. So, that's Fraspa taken. Since no one lives here, I'll occupy. And now, I'm going to talk to this man about a ceasefire.
Our patience is limited. Surely, you jest.
You see no need to end the fighting.
Our patience is limited.
How about accept or we will attack?
Surely, you'd be quick.
Well, I guess we have to kill them to the last fucking man then, don't we? I'm gonna save myself time. I'm gonna send back just these javelin men to deal with this. Actually, doesn't really save me any time, does it? I'm gonna set this place to low taxes and repair their walls. There's not anything I can do here that's useful. Apparently Parthia recruited their entire population while they owned it. With so low population, though, I can actually pretty much get away without doing anything to help them in terms of happiness. It looks like I do need to leave behind a few more units than that. Can I just leave behind these non-camel riders? That was worth 5% happiness, which is rather funny. I'll leave behind my Eastern mercenaries, I suppose. I hate those units with a passion.
Move out.
The reason I just send all of this back is because Arsacia here is actually where I make the boat that's going to take me across the Caspian Sea, and I need a boat to get to the last city in anything resembling a meaningful time frame. And seeing as I do apparently have to kill Parthia to the last man to get them to fuck off, and I have to send this army back, I guess my game plan involves conquering Scythia now, because we're going back the other direction with this army, which is not efficient at all. It's in fact the complete opposite of efficient. But oh well. I didn't realize that Parthia was going to choose to fight to the bitter fucking end and use their single unit in my land to try to siege a city. So I guess I'm going to be fighting up here and eventually taking all of Scythia, not that it's even worth taking, but hey, whatever, it's fine. I already have plenty of armies in the Balkans anyway, and I'll be making more soon. I believe the turn is mostly done, but whether it is or not, I'm going to be ending this video now. I've been rather incoherent. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.